Greetings, everybody. Dave DeWalt here, founder and CEO of NightDragon, coming to you live from the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center here in San Francisco at the RSA Cybersecurity Conference, the largest cybersecurity conference in the world. What a great honor I have a chance to partner with NASDAQ and NightDragon to bring a CEO series. And as a former CEO, I get to interview today 11 of the hottest cybersecurity companies. And my guest today is Kevin Lynch. Kevin and I have known each other a long time as well. I'm on the board of Optiv, just for the record as well. Optiv is one of the most important companies, in my opinion, in the world of cyber. Kevin comes from 20 plus years working at DeWalt, so a lot of understanding of risk and services, and now has been CEO for about 3 years.
3 years.
At Optiv. Oh my gosh, it's so great to have you, my friend.
Thanks for having me here. It's awesome to spend time with you.
Coming on here as well. Tell everybody just for a minute, what does Optiv do? I could do it for you, but you do it.
It's all
let
good.
Everybody know.
Look, we have a great mission-driven business, right? And that's the way we think about ourselves. And of course, we're profitable and we generate revenue, but we're mission-driven. And our mission is to secure greatness. And how do we do that? We're solely focused on cybersecurity and resilience. We are about 96% North America, so we're focused here at home. And we do that by 3 fundamental pillars. We're in the services game in every single domain in cybersecurity. We're obviously in the phenomenal technology aspect of this business with 450 plus incredible ecosystem partners. And increasingly at the intersection of those 2 things, we're delivering solutions that are managed and delivered outcomes to a client base. So we always think about our world as we can advise, we can deploy, and we can operate. And that's the way we attack a very, very well capitalized adversary.
It's amazing watching Kevin work. At this point, he's really helped Optiv scale. When I say scale, today we've been talking about companies that have reached 100 million of revenue, who have grown fast. This company's gone over 100 million of EBITDA. So a whole nother level of scale, especially under your leverage. Talk a little bit for a minute, macro cybersecurity, because you have an incredible lens that most of these other companies don't. You get to see, I'm not sure how much procurement and activity you see, but just talk a bit about what you see and then maybe 1 or 2 trends that you see as hot.
You bet. Look, I think we're in a long run game with some short-term disruptions. Long run game, as you know, when I took this role 3+ years ago, I looked at the world and said, the world's going to fundamentally change. We're in a long run secular game of cybersecurity and resilience, but it's going to change. The call we made then and the future we've been effectively building for is that yes, companies are going to continue to buy technology. They're going to still have use cases for great technology in our ecosystem. But in that enterprise segment, it's becoming burdensome to capitalize security with an increasing adversarial threat. And so this shift to managing more of that capability that we now see 3 years later, we called that 3 years ago and we've been building for and delivering on that. I still believe fervently that this industry will shift where a player like Optiv will take on the entirety of security and resilience for a certain set of clients as a managed outcome. We're not there yet, no one's there yet, but that's what we're building for. Now, long run secular trends notwithstanding, short term, there's all sorts of things going on in this industry. I mean, I can look at our interest-based or lending-based security purchases today, they're off by 13%. I can look at our average sales cycle from when a client says, I've got a use case to when they actually procure, and that's elongated. And you hear that in all the publications, so there's nothing new there. I can also see the affinity we have, like the deepening of our net retention has gone up in this period of time. Our renewals have accelerated in this period of time. Our renewal totality has grown in this period of time. So I think what you're seeing is a deepening of the trusted relationships in the biggest brands. You're seeing still exploration in the new capability. I think there's a commitment to the space. I think there are short-term disruptions, but look, threat went down, as you know, for a period of time last year. It is up in a big way this year. Budgets are slower in the front end of half of the year, but every study you look at shows budgets are flat to up 7% across all of our clients.
Cybersecurity is a must-have. It's hard to lower budgets, maybe just a little bit down from the growth we had before,
right,
but still really growing.
But how do you look at your board of directors or your CEO and say, we're going to play a game of capital versus risk? I mean, you're not going to pull it back all the way. Right. The adversary drives that. So, look, Dave, you and I have talked about this a lot. It's the correlation game. Yep. Are you correlated to interest rates? We are a little bit, but we see favorable times ahead. Are you correlated to GDP or a GDPer? it's going to be tougher sledding for the next probably 4 to 5 quarters. Digital transformation is the biggest correlation. That's going to continue to happen. Economic pressures on our enterprise clients are going to force them to modernize. That creates bigger attack surface. That drives security spending.
I love the juxtaposition that you talk about trusted advisor meets security as a service, especially in these big trends like digital transformation. I know you made an acquisition just recently as well, a company called ClearShark. Talk a little bit about ClearShark and the strategy that you have with that acquisition.
ClearShark, so first off, a shout out to my new colleagues at ClearShark. They are amazing people, like truly amazing people. I'm inspired by what they do and notably where they do it. You know, we have a federal business. That's a business that's solely focused on federal, and again, like us, cybersecurity and resilience. You know, what we're excited about is an ability not only to serve the federal government more deeply. This brings us to well more than doubles our federal presence. It brings us to 20% of our portfolio growing commensurate, if not higher than the rate of growth than the balance of what we do. But to me, I see the need for public-private partnerships ever more than I've ever seen it in the entire world. And to me, this creates a different trading relationship with CISA, with 1600 Pennsylvania, at a time when the nation is actually rising to really address this on a national level. And so I think this makes us not only a serve to, but a trade with partner from threat intelligence all the way down the stack. And I ultimately see, and it'll take folks like you and I and others to really foster this happening, but I see a cyber core emerging in our country where we actually solve that job deficit. And whether it's the 750K that you mentioned yesterday or the 1.25 million that I see, there's unfilled jobs. The only way we're going to do that is bottom feed the talent pool. The only way we're going to do that is through a cyber core where we give someone an ability to grow a capability and grow up in our industry.
Kevin, talk a little bit about what's next for Optiv. And the reason I say this company you've built already has really scaled, right? As we mentioned, thousands and thousands of customers, trusted advisor with those customers, hundreds and hundreds of partners. You've now expanded to government. What do you see the journey over the next couple of years as you maybe shift to another phase of life at Optiv?
As you know, being a good board member, you saw my early wonky moments as a CEO. I firmly believe in our 3 horizons of growth, right? And the first was stabilize. We've done that. It's behind us. The second was really growth through all manner of what we do. So becoming more material to our clients. And we're in the bulge bracket of that horizon. I still firmly believe that managing the entirety of infrastructure for a client is where this industry goes. Not for every client, not for our biggest clients, but for that bulge bracket of our clients where we serve. Now, along the way, I really believe we need to add in capability. So we will constantly be looking at organic investments in capability and inorganic investments to accelerate our capabilities. I think we need to get deeper in certain industries, especially with OT and the rise of OT. That is a massive market opportunity, but it's also a massive mission to be conducted. So we will continue to invest organically and inorganically to raise our scale in certain industries, energy, carbon as an example. And then third, we'll look geographically. 96% of our revenue today is North America. Europe isn't a market as Europe. It's a set of markets. But that's obviously a natural place for us to look. Asia is a natural place for us to look. Trade flows are decidedly east-west in the world today. So we will expand geographically when we're ready. But what I would say, Dave, is the platform has been set. The growth on the platform is very, very clear. The ability for us to continue to scale is incredibly clear. So we're vibrantly excited about what's ahead.
I'm smiling a little bit because I have seen the journey and been with you on that journey, and it's so fun to watch you, my friend, build this company into a real powerhouse and, in my opinion, a really important critical infrastructure for America, and not only America, potentially over the rest of the world.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Lynch, Optiv CEO. Keep an eye on Optiv. Thank you for coming, my friend.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.